see or view it the same way that I view it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, we are, you know, we're trying our best to make art, you know,
Yeah.
from our lives, and express, you know, express what we want to express, or get our point across, or teach, or, you know, there's so many different avenues to making this music. It's, you know, it's what you make it.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy is kind of to go along with that is it's always been because all the stuff that I heard from you, because I definitely remember Ignorant. I definitely remember that song. You know what I'm saying? And I just remember hearing that shit. I was like, damn, bro, this is dope as fuck. Like I just remember, like, I think I showed it to Josh Somerville, and this was like
Okay.
back when you originally dropped it, like around either late 2014 or 2015. I don't know if that was like if that's like a correct timeline, but I remember it like came out like way before, and I showed Josh. You know what I'm saying? Because Josh hadn't heard it yet. You feel me? And he was like, "Damn, that fool could spit." You know what I'm saying? I mean, we all knew you could.
Yeah, during those times, like, I think that was 2013. Ignorant came out, and I think I didn't drop another song for like a whole another year.
Yeah.
And I didn't drop another song for like a whole another year because I was like so into, if I was gonna put something out, I have to know that that's the one.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, like, I'm in the process of, you know, learning how to make it better and figuring out what do I like what type of music, like, where, you know, where am I connected? Because, you know, anybody can make music or anybody can rap about this time and the third. But it's to me, it's more like how do I express these certain things about my life, or how do I, like, what's the like, how can I get better at talking shit? Because, like, sometimes it's like that too. Like some of the music is just like, you know, you just gassing yourself up, and and, you know, when you listen back to like those type of songs, it makes you feel good. Like, I like, you know, or just being honest with certain situations, and expressing those type of thought. Like, my whole thing is like being able to try to get to the point where I can paint those images even more like better than what I was doing prior. Like, just like like reading a poem, like being able to read a poem, and they say less, but those words that they use are, they're the things that can make it seem vivid, or, you know, bring you into that moment or get you lost. Like, and I'm constantly on the path to trying to make music that'll allow you to really sit back and just listen. Like I'm trying to create I want to already create a world for you when you listening to it. Like, I want you to either be sitting back, smoking a joint, smoking a blunt, smoking, you know, just kicking back, and just want to unwind and just like listen to the music and let it play. Like, you know, there's a certain type of avenue that you know, I'm looking towards, and it's just based off of music that I personally like Erykah Badu. I love Erykah Badu, bro, because her music, like, she'll be saying, it could sound like she's not saying anything at all, but if you really listen to it, like, you can take it in so many ways, to the point it's like you don't necessarily know exactly what she's talking about, like, and it can get you to think about what she's saying, or what she's trying to express. And I just love when music does stuff like that, man.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is you know, that what you're saying right now of you try to create a place to kind of take the listener to. I was listening to it was the tape you put out in October of 2019. Very Hollow Sounds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, bro. And I was gonna say, what you're talking about right there. I was even I was gonna ask you about it eventually, but I'll just ask you about it now since you kind of tied into it. Like, I noticed like the attention to detail on that one was more kind of like from the first start to the last. It was kind of like, how do I say this? It was almost, because I know it was only 7 songs. I don't want to call it a concept album, but it was like a concept EP. Like you kind of had a direction with each song. And you made sure they all kind of tied in. Because I remember like the first song, and it was like kind of like that thing where you kind of like you kind of tied into every song, you know what I'm saying, back to back with the song before, you feel me? I don't know if that was like intentional, or it's just like the way that you put together the track listing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, with Very Hollow Sound, like always told myself if I made an album, like I wanted to literally have like a theme. Like I wanted to, it still has something to do with like my love for filmmaking and my love for film. Like just turning that into a project. So with the album cover being the way it was, and the stuff I'm talking about is like I'm talking about stuff that's like I had like the tape. I had one of the things that I had that was consistent in that project was like there's a tape like a tape click at the end.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's just like it's like basically like I'm recording either past moments or what I'm thinking at that moment or that type of stuff. Like it's just they're like basically like they're like sound bites of my life. So and like that was really what really tapped me into like the whole film noir thing for the project was the fact that like the unconventionalness of damn, is that even a word? Wow. I just used that like that was something. It's just the fact
I don't even know, but it probably is a word.
But like film noir, like your main character, he's not a hero. He's not, he's just somebody that's trying to figure it out, and or she. You're just a person that's trying to figure it out. You're not catching them at their best, and you're not catching them at their worst.
Yeah.
You're just going through their life. But it's something about film noir is like when they was doing that type of stuff, the reason that they had it black and white and they had it like stuff like that is just like to take the viewer away from like shit like the Great Depression. Yeah. At that time, the Great Depression was going on and people were worried about money, but when they would go watch these movies, it would be their escape and take them to a whole different like planet. So like Very Hollow Sounds is just like, to be honest, Very Hollow Sound is probably like my most dark project out of all of them.
Yeah, I mean, it starts off dark.
That's solely because that was relevant in my life at that time. Like, really, really crazy headspace. So, that's where all that stuff kind of timed in. But at least like I always try to make sure at the end, like if I'm going to go that deep into in Planet, like I'm talking about how it feels to like have anxiety or depression or this, that, and the third. Like even in that second verse, I still switch it up, like, and just how my mind works. Like even though if I get into those dark places, like I can't let that type of stuff stop me. Like so it's like coming to terms, like what, it is what it is, but at the end of the day, you got to keep moving.
Yeah,
so, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say because like a second ago you're talking about everybody raps, everybody can rap this, that, and the third, but something that you're obviously like paying attention to when you put out your projects, because like because for example, if someone were to go listen to all three of the ones that are on Bandcamp right now, it's being that you're like insanely lyrical, I don't think anybody can really listen to a song and be like, oh, he's just saying a whole lot of nothing. I'm sure anybody that listens to the songs is saying he's saying a shitload of there's a lot of substance there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you obviously have an attention to detail and making sure that you're not just rapping for the sake of rapping. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Especially I'm not trying to skip around because I'm definitely trying to like go project by project. But even like on the EP, because I felt like it. Even on that one, what you're saying a little bit ago of how can I talk shit better? I feel like on a lot of songs, bro, you're definitely spitting. You were doing it in like your own style, and it was actually like very, very like how do I say it? Palatable, I guess, to listen to. You know what I'm saying? Like people can hear it and be like, I feel you. Like what I'm saying? Like people can actually know what you're talking about. They're not like just getting lost in a bunch of lyrics. You know what I'm saying?
That's hard. That's cool. That's cool. Thank you for that. Also, that's awesome, bro.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's like cool. For sure. I mean, because like with that type of shit, shows when even like not even just in rap, just like whether it's a guitarist and you can tell that he has his own style versus he's just like playing a bunch of like mumbo jumbo, or even a singer. Like what that type of stuff shows usually is kind of like applying your personality to your style. So like how long did it take you to kind of like kind of put that into motion, or like what was that aha moment where you were like, all right, if I'm gonna like really put myself out there as like a artist, I should make sure that I'm at least coming with, you know, substance and not like, you know what I'm saying? Like not just another profile. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think that came about like, so I have this thing where it's like, I go through life, but there's certain moments that stick out to me. And a lot of that stuff like plays out like a movie in my head. So, you know, I'll just find ways to express it. And I think I started realizing like it's easier for me to write about those things because, you know, it's me. You know, I'm writing about my life and the things that I've learned through, you know, because at the end of the day, like every day I'm learning something new. You know, every day is new to me, so every day I'm learning something new. So I make sure to put that in the records because it's you know, I feel like somebody else could be going through something, and I know through music I learned a lot. So, you know, if I put something in my raps and you know, I'm just being honest with myself and expressing, you know, what I've learned through it, and hopefully you can learn from it too if you're going through something similar. Or and then like when I'm even talking shit, it's just like tough love.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like when I'm talking shit, like usually when I do talk shit, I talk shit about people's motivation and drive, or like people talking and not walking, or, you know, just stuff of that nature. But in reality, it's just like, it's one of the ways that I actually learned how to be better with myself. Like my father, my dad, like conversations that we had, like they've been they were rough conversations on ways of thinking. Like I was just talking to the homie about this earlier. Like one of the things that's really relevant, like when it comes to music artists, and I mean, well, hip hop specifically, is just like, you know, people's egos get in the way. Somebody might hear a record that's about themselves, and then they might, you know, they let their emotions get the best of them, and, you know, and not really rationalizing, you know, or thinking or just processing everything, and actually just, you know, moving in a smarter way. And you know, like I said, me and my dad, we had rough conversations. We're like, the stuff really hits when it's a more rough conversation.
Yeah.
Like when it's just more upfront and it's just straight to the point, rather than just kind of dancing around the subject. So that's what I do in my music. I don't dance around the subject. It's just like go and lift the hood. That's your problem. It's your transmission. Niggas that can drive, like niggas that can drive, like that, like stuff like that. I'm just people need to have motivation, drive. They need to be able to just know that anything that they want to do in this world is possible. Like if somebody can make a airplane or a rocket ship, like what makes you think you can't do the same thing too? As long as you put as long as you put in the time. But yeah, man, that's putting myself into music, that occurred like over the years of me just finding it works.
Yeah.
It just works. It just works to be honest with yourself and be yourself in your music. Because I mean, I don't really want to make up a story. Like even in film, bro, like film is like, at the end of the day, whoever wrote that story is still relative to them. Something about that story is relative to them. Like, so it's the same way with music.
Yeah, because, you know, like it's a different type of connection when you know, like if I'm gonna listen to a group or an artist that very obviously like their music is based on like a certain dimension, or it's like, you know, it's like who am I thinking? Like, you know how like Cool Keith had like Miss Dr. Octagon, and
No,
you never heard about that?
no, enlighten me.
All right, well, Dr. Octagon was it was like an album. It was like a cult hit. Like it was like an album he put out. I can't remember if it was like the late '90s, but it was definitely either the late '90s or the early 2000s. And it was really, really big in like the underground, in like the underground hip hop world. But if you listen to that album, he's like a character. You know what I'm saying? Versus, you know, all the rest of the stuff that he's done, people know it as like Cool Keith music. You know what I'm saying? And there's that distinction Like, for example, all right, a different example, all of Del, the Funky Homo Sapien